Greetings, everyone. If you are here, that means you're ready to write your research paper. I'm going to review some of the elements of APA formatting that you need to pay attention to as you're writing your paper. This is the cover page, and you can see that on the cover page you have the running head with a short title of your paper. Page numbers do not start on the cover page. They start on the second page of your paper, so you can say on your page, when you add the page numbers, to not show the page number on the first page of the document. Then on the cover page you have the long form of your title. In this case it should have been the effects of structured physical activity on students' sleep during school. That would be your long title. This is just a short version for your paper, the running head. Your name, the university, the class, the professor, the date. All of this is double spaced, and this is all centered and not bold. The second page will be your abstract. The abstract title heading is not bolded. The abstract is double spaced. There is no indent in the abstract. It is a summary of your research question and findings, generally no longer than 250 words. No shorter than maybe 150, because people need to have a context of what you're writing. It's just at the top of the page. It's on its own page. You then have, this is your running head but without the words running head, and this will be your header for the entire document after page 2, after this page. Your introduction and all your main headings will be capitalized and centered. All your paragraphs will be indented. All your paragraphs will be double spaced. As I said, all the main headings are going to be centered and bolded, and you'll see here we're going to talk about citations for a minute. When you have two people with citations, you always use the ampersand in between them. You don't use the word and. If you have three people, you have author, author, ampersand, third author, and the date. Always the author and the date, comma, date. If you have even up to 5 people, the first time that you reference these people, you are going to spell out everybody's name. If you use them again, for example, this one has actually had 6. You're going to put the first name of the first author in the series. You're going to put et al., which is and all and everyone else. Et does not have a period. That is a full word. And in Latin. All is a short version for everybody. So you will put a period, and then there should also be, right there should be a comma. And then the date, 2006. Meher et al., and then you start your paragraph. If you're quoting an author or a research paper or another research project, you're going to put the quote within quotation marks. After the quotation marks, you'll put the page number on which you found the quote. And it will always be related to the authors that you're talking about. Sometimes you'll end up putting the author here. Sometimes you'll start the paragraph with the author's name. When you get to the method, up to this point in your literature search, in your literature review, in your introduction, you're talking in present and past tense. When you talk about people's work, you talk about it in the past tense because that work has already happened. When you make comment about how that work is related to what you are going to try and do, you talk about that in the present tense. When you get to the method, however, for the final paper, the method will always be in past tense because, like the authors that you talk about in your literature search, this material has already happened. You've done your study, you've collected your data, and so it will be in the past tense. You see the first level heading here, centered and bold. This is a second level heading. And for this methods section, and you can have second level headings in any section, it's left justified and bold. Left justified and bold. And you still are indenting every paragraph. And you're still keeping all sentences double spaced. Nothing is never double spaced. Nothing is more than double spaced. Nothing is less than double spaced. In this case, you have also some numeration you can use. Sometimes you can use bullets and so forth. So your second level headings are bold and left justified. Same with the results section. If you decide to use charts, it's very important to remember a couple of things. First, keep the colors to a minimum. Next, make sure that you have a caption for the chart or graph that you use that refers to the figure. All charts and graphs are figures or tables. This is a figure. It's a graph. Please notice that it has a caption or a label for the x-axis and a label for the y-axis. You need to make sure that you always have the y and x-axes labeled, so that we know exactly what the numbers or the indicators that you have there mean. Sometimes it will look almost just like your caption. That's okay. And always have a key. Do not break up tables or figures between pages. If it doesn't fit on the page before, go ahead and start it on the new page at the very top. You don't want any breaking up of your tables or figures. You can see the headings as we go through it and your analysis, and all of this is still going to be in past tense. The elements of your research will be there in the methods section, and then the discussion, the results and discussion, again, will still be in the past tense. So the discussion is about your results. It will be in the past tense. The conclusion will be in the present tense. It will be talking about what you've come to understand and where you want to go, conclusion and next steps. The reference page also has a first level heading, centered and bold. You use a hanging indent for all your citations. You double space the entire section. The reference section is its own section, so it always starts on its own page. You never break up a reference either. So if it doesn't fit on one page, you just push it down to the next page. And then you'll have the rest of your references. If you don't have appendices, the reference pages will be your last pages. But if you do have appendices, you will start on a new page for every appendix. The appendices are used for information that is too much for the main report and has more information than the simple communication that you need for the main report. And so you can include these as appropriate in an appendix. Each appendix has its own number or letter, and each appendix is referred to alphabetically within your actual report. So if you have Appendix A, that appendix is the first appendix that shows up in your report. If you have Appendix B, then Appendix B will be the next appendix that's referred to in your report. So you always have them in alphabetical order. That's also true, and I'm going to go back to your references. Your references are also in alphabetical order according to the name of the first author, or in some cases, the name of the document. So references are always in alphabetical order, and appendices are also always in alphabetical order. In your document itself, you need to make sure that everything that you have in the reference is also referred to in the document and cited. It's is cited in the document, and every citation in your document is also included in your references, so that there's a consistency between references and your citations in the document. And those are just the small elements that I wanted to cover. A couple of grammar pieces. I'll go back. You always have 2 spaces after a period. You just put period, space, space. This is APA formatting, and that's expected, and it's usually not a problem. You also use the Oxford comma, which is if you have 3 or more items, there's a comma after each element in the item. So if you have child A, child B, and child C, you would have child A, comma, child B, comma, and child C. So it's not like MLA formatting. So you always use the Oxford commas when you're making lists. And the APA formatting will be available to you in OWL, and if you have purchased the APA edition 6, that will be of help to you as well. And you will find much of the APA formatting that you need for this paper in the APA formatting section.